Hello and welcome to a video about Bakki rivers. So in this video I want to talk about my missing Bakki river and what happened to it. So we'll start off by talking about that river, and then I'll get into what I'm going to be replacing it with, and I'll just do a little bit of a talk about the rivers in general for those of you that either have them or are thinking about building a river. So let's start with what happened to my river. So I actually wanted to get behind it and clean it out and obviously paint the walls here and here, which I still haven't done. So I took it off. I decided to clean all the media and take it off and have a look inside it. Obviously it were fine, as it always has been, and it were running fine at the time of taking it off. But what I did is I cleaned all the media, had it all took off, had the river outside, and I just piped up the return. The water that went into the river now goes down here. You can see it just goes out there straight into the pond. So it's coming out of the drum straight back into the pond at the minute. Now, whilst the river was sat outside, I accidentally sold it. So I don't have a river anymore. And due to this coronavirus thing, I've been unable to replace it for a bit, so it's taken me a couple of months to sort out the replacement for the filter, which has been a bit of a pain. The fish aren't particularly happy. I mean, they're still, curious and still quite hungry, but there has been some little issues with water quality, obviously with no biological filter on it. But fortunately, I still have my drum filter, and it's still turning over. What is it, 38,000, something like that, 38,000 litres an hour, something like that, 36,000 litres an hour, so we're turning over 36,000 litres an hour, but it's just going through a drum, no biological stage, and it's alright. What I'm doing to sort of combat that is I'm letting in a little bit more fresh tap water than I normally would, so, that's helping, but it really needs a filter on it. Right, so let's get into talking about rivers themselves, and if you're building a river, things to think about. So this river was actually really good. It was one long continuous thing that went all the way along, and what I did is I put in little baffles in it, the one in the middle, the one at the beginning, and the one at the end, for the various stages. So the one at the beginning just stopped this blast of water coming out of this pipe. So as you can see when I put my hand in front of it, it's quite a blast. So if you had media straight in front of that, it just washes it all to that end pretty quick, because that's that's an 18,000 litre an hour pump. So it doesn't have to pump some water, so I had a screen here that stopped that blast hitting the media and then made it flow over the top and underneath. And that's one of the important things as well. The water needs to be able to flow underneath in a river. So what happened with the middle one is the same. The small amount of water was allowed to flow over the top, but also most of it flowed underneath, which at that point was underneath the media, and the same at that end, which was underneath the media. And I've seen a few people making rivers out of tanks, so you'd have one tank, 2 tanks, 3 tanks and joined together with pipe work. And the muck will get stuck at the bottom of the container because it has to jump up a step into the next container, which means that there'll be a slight bit of bad flow underneath, so it'll not flow as well underneath, which creates a bad spot of water. And I know this because my other filter does a similar thing. So this filter here at the back was designed with an actual weir in it, so this is not removable and the water has to flow over the top like that. However, it does have little openings just here and here, so this top one actually is open because I haven't filled it full of media, and it's open, it just flows through there, and then it goes over that weir, down there, over that weir, and then out. But what that means is that any muck that settles in these chambers sort of stays there, really, and some can get through that little opening because it's not sealed, but eventually, after about a year, these seem to seal themselves off because the muck just blocks them, which means I do have to clean this one quite thoroughly every year because the muck sort of settles in these stages, whereas the other one on the main pond didn't have that problem. The muck wouldn't settle in it because the water moved through it so fast and underneath the watercourse as well. So you know, that's just something to pay attention to, that with rivers the water needs to flow straight through it and as fast as possible. Like I said, I had an 18,000 litre an hour pump on this, which made it flow pretty quick down there and could fill it very fast, because it held about 250 litres of water, this one did, so it filled pretty fast. And finally, what am I replacing it with? So this will be a very interesting series of videos. I haven't currently got it, but I have designed it, and I will be telling you now it's more of a shower filter. So am I moving away from rivers for any particular reason? No. I love my rivers, and I think they're a great filter. They work perfectly with the Cyperax media that I used in them, and I'm so pleased with them, and I would keep it. However, I'm going for quietness, and quieter as possible. With it being indoors and a room that I spend a lot of time in, I want silence and peace. And since I've took it off and just put the water flow straight in there, I can't hear anything, and it's lovely. It's very relaxing in here now. So I want something in the basement, not on the wall here. I want something in the basement. Most people associate showers with a big thing on the wall that is making a lot of noise, and that. This one is obviously going to be below the water level, so that's going to be interesting. Now I'm doing that. Basically, I'm building a pressurized shower filter. So water's going to be gravity fed into the shower and pumped out of it. And in that shower there's going to be a pressurized volume of air that the water showers through. So it is a shower, but it's under pressure. So I'm sure most of you are wondering how that's going to work. I'm also wondering myself, and we'll find out when I get it and I manage to install it. I've had this one made rather than make it myself. I can make some plastic things, but being pressurized and such a sort of complicated build, I've actually had this one made. So I've seen it already. It's a really good looking machine, and I should be getting it very shortly. So I can't wait to make some videos on that. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in a shower filter that you don't need to have above your pond, which this one is. So there we go. That's a quick talk about rivers and showers, and I hope you like this video. If you want to see more videos on my filtration, then please feel free to subscribe, because there will be a lot of them coming up. If you like this video, then please like it. If you have any questions or comments, then please put them down below, and I shall see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.